The whole point of this podcast is how do we make hospitality more human through technology? Why is it important to be here? What does it mean for Event Temple to be at events like this?
We want to represent and meet our partners, prospects, and obviously fly the flag and represent our brand, Event Temple.
Being in person beats a 2D version of yourself.
And it's also good to put a face to a name as well. We see each other on LinkedIn, actually grab a table and have a coffee and talk through things as well. Talk about being human.
What are some of the things that you've learned or some key takeaways that you've gotten?
The world is really growing in the space and everybody's getting to be experts, which is really, really cool.
Talk about AI. Like, it's a great buzzword and everyone's talking about it, but what does it mean, Dan, to you?
So with AI, it's going to have to be the balance between human and a balance between the automation. And it's finding that harmonious balance so we're not losing that event type. We're thinking about it. We're cooking stuff up in the lab as we speak.
Partnering with those other people who believe that same motto makes such a difference in the way that the hotel can do their job, the way that the technology works, right? Like
100%.
So that's why we love partnerships and integrations, because it's like, why would we want to do 5 things bad when we can do 1 thing great and work with 5 other people who also do that great?
So how do you balance being on the show floor all day, but then having all those other things on top and stay sane through the event season?
It's not easy. Get your sleep, meeting in advance, knowing who you're going to speak with, looking at the different events that are running. You want to go to all of them, but you have to narrow them down. Just make sure that you're getting an impact where you're going. And drink lots of water.
I think if you're going to be on a show floor for multiple days, wear good shoes as well.
I'll shut up.
Like Trevor's.
Spend with these ones.
How we doing, y'all? We are here in Charlotte, North Carolina at HITEC with my friends from Event Temple. We got Daniel, we've got Trevor, VP of Sales, Director of Partnerships. These guys are killing it. I've been seeing them basically, well, Trevor and I met HITEC last year because I had just started. I was 2 months into the business, joining Omnibus, and met up with Trevor. And since then, we've been keeping conversations going and love what you guys are doing in this space. So I wanted to jump on a podcast with you while we're here and talk about it a little bit. So thank you for letting me take over the stand for a hot minute.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. So let's start with why we're here, right? We're at HITEC. Great show. Like, why is it important to be here? What does it mean for Event Temple to be at events like this?
I think it's super important to be here. This is arguably the hottest hot tech show in the world for hospitality. And we're obviously in the market and we want to represent and meet our partners, prospects, and obviously fly the flag and represent our brand, Event Temple.
Yeah. What about you, Trevor?
Well, I mean, we are a meetings and events company as well, too. So we got to support that, believe in that. And really, that's what we really believe in, too, is that Event Temple, we want to see more meetings, events, people gathering. It's such a natural part of us. So I think when you're here and you get that chance to work with everybody in person, not just your like partners, but your hoteliers, it's really cool. And it's like you kind of learn a lot about each other and a lot about the industry.
Yeah, I love that because I think one of the cool things is being in person beats a 2D version of yourself. And
Yes.
we can do a lot over Zoom and the world has globalization is amazing with all the technology, but also at events like this, it's fun to talk about and learn about like what's happening in the market. It's really easy to get stuck in kind of like what you're doing day to day, just to get out and kind of like see what everyone's doing and getting a pulse and saying hi and getting to see others who have the same goal of making hospitality human, right?
Just that. And it's also good to put a face to a name as well. We see each other on LinkedIn. We last hooked up in Sweden and 6 months ago and actually grab a table and have a coffee and talk through things as well, other than the email chain. So, I mean, yeah, talk about being human.
I love that. And to be fair, when we were up in Sweden, that was a blast, cold as shit back then.
Yes.
But I am a little jealous that you don't have the ski machines. So these guys came rocking up to this event in Sweden. I mean, Canadians, of course, had to show off with their ski machine. And it was literally, I tried every day of that conference to try to come jump on that ski machine. And you had a freaking line the whole time. And it was so jealous. I was hoping you'd have it here so I could jump on it.
Maybe next time.
Definitely get it the next time.
So being here and going through and meeting all these people, what are some of the high points for you? What are some of the things, I know we're kind of technically day 2, but day 1 on the floor. What are some of the high points for you? What are some of the things that you've learned or some key takeaways that you've gotten from being on the show floor so far today?
First and foremost, it's just great to see all the partners that we work with going in and talking about deals or opportunities that we have in play together. And then obviously the buzzword that's always out there is AI. And we're seeing that in a lot of conversations that we're having and how our company is looking to drive AI and also learning from them, and then how we can better bring that to the market as well.
I think one of my favorite things is actually like to see just how the industry's shifting. Like hoteliers, I would say I remember the first HITEC I was at, it was 2019. And at that time, it was like pretty much all on-prem. And integrations was like a dirty word. Like people didn't like that idea, right? They were like, no, everything needs to be done in one. I don't want a bunch of systems. And now to see like, you can really see it open up. Yeah. And like the world is really growing in the space and everybody's getting to be experts, which is really, really cool.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, coming from us as a data unification platform, right? Formerly middleware, it's a dirty word, and integrations, and yeah, you're seeing this amazing kind of shift to a lot more openness and transparency with open APIs and different things like that. A lot more partnerships kind of happening, which I think makes the space better because when more things can work harmoniously together, it makes a better customer experience, right? So you kind of use the buzzword, talk about AI. When you think about AI and hospitality from a big picture, what does that even mean? I think like it's a great buzzword and everyone's talking about it, but what does it mean, Dan, to you? Whether that's for Event Temple or for the industry as a whole.
We'll talk through Event Temple, and events again are such a human-facing machine. Yeah. So with AI, it's going to have to be the balance between human and a balance between the automation, and it's finding that harmonious balance so we're not losing that event type or you're shaking someone's hand, but it's also again using technology so we can better help our customers. And I think that's the big thing all along, is just to making sure that you have a human element to it, but you're automating in the back end. And it's not easy to do, but we're thinking about it. We're cooking stuff up in the lab as we speak.
I love that. Trevor, what about you?
I think to me, it's all of us, like probably the most important job we can do, especially with like what Event Temple provides, is finding ways actually for our users to kind of use it less. Like I know Muse kind of coined that term. They're a good partner. We like to say we think kind of like them that way. But like, so for us, things like AI or really anything with tech is really about letting people spend more time with their prospects, spending more time with those people who are doing their groups, spending more time with them planning their event or their wedding or whatever. And if Event Temple can do all that other stuff, so that they're not sitting in that little back office typing on their computer, and then that's how we know that we're doing our job.
Yeah. I love that. I think that it's great to hear that you're cooking some stuff up, and I know, I feel like Event Temple over the last year has been on everyone's radar, and you all have been doing some amazing stuff and growing like crazy. So it's exciting to hear that there's some stuff going on in the lab.
There definitely is. We can't get to it too much, but we're baking some stuff up, some new innovations that we hope to come out with in the next 12 months or so, if not sooner, and we'll be on the map and we'll definitely be marketing those.
I love that. I know that that's something that we've been looking in from an omnibus standpoint. We've been playing around with some stuff as well, and we're in the lab as well. And I think to that point, we've been talking about partnerships for a while, and I know that we're getting close to finally doing some really cool stuff with Event Temple. And I think when we're all on the same page, we're talking about this and we're starting to look at these things, I think that what's going to happen is something amazing where automation and AI is not going to replace people's jobs. It's going to make them more efficient and allow them to, what you said, Trevor, spend more time with the customers, make them happy. Those events, especially events, like you think about the things you never forget about, the best memories of your life are usually around travel and events, right? I don't remember half my wedding, but I remember the key points, right? And that was an amazing time, amazing time. But I do remember that, from a planning perspective, we were going to have a small wedding and we ended up having a way too big wedding, and it was absolutely fun, but I'll not do it again.
Right.
How much went into that, right? Like it's a big event. And so the more that someone can be taking care of you at your wedding, it's like the most important day of your life.
One of them. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So when you're doing that and they get to really spend that time, it's building guest and customer confidence. So it's like you get to do your job.
Yeah. I think that, and I think when we all think of events, we think of big events like a wedding or like a big trade show like this. But think about all the events that happen on a daily basis from, needing an event space for a meeting to a happy hour to a book launch. Like there's so much happening in that space. How do you look at the market and how do y'all make an impact in that market? And what are some of the things that, you feel like Event Temple just does better than anybody else out there?
I think comes down to our core pillars, and I think ease of use is our biggest value proposition, where we can have a venue or a hotel up and running in 4 weeks or less with a minimum 4 maybe training sessions. And sales and event people like to use our software. I always use this adage that the guests or the customers, they don't really care what technology they are using, as long as you're providing, and what they're looking for is an exceptional guest experience or customer experience. And we find our software allows their event planners and coordinators to offer that and to give back and to actually face their customers and do that. And that's why the sales and event management system is fitting the bill.
I absolutely love that. And Trevor, from a partnership, you've been out there, you talked about Muse and some of the other partnerships that you got going on. What's been for you some of the things that you've loved seeing in this space as you're developing these partnerships and, looking at doing bigger things? What are some of the things that you've really loved to see happening with the partner group, like partner channel, right? Like there's two sides of it, but the partner channel has just been so collaborative lately. And you highlighted that earlier. So what are some of the things that have really shown to you that this year has been a year of partners?
I think it's like, well, I mean, the number one thing is you're really just seeing like experts in their field. Like one of the things we often say is like, probably if there's a business doing it, there's a reason. And if you start trying to do multiple businesses as one business, you usually end up doing a lot of things mediocre.
Yeah.
So that's why we love partnerships and integrations, because it's like, why would we want to do 5 things bad when we can do one thing great and work with 5 other people who also do that great? And then if you're the hotel, you're leveraging that. You're getting like masters at everything they do, and that as a result is going to turn into way more.
I love that. And I think you kind of hit the nail on the head. I think thinking about it in that regard of why do 5 things bad and instead of one thing exceptionally well, and partnering with those other people who believe that same motto makes such a difference in the way that the hotel can do their job or the event planner, but also the way that the technology works, right? Like the
100%.
technology just is so much smoother when everyone's on the same page and there's this, mutual benefit that we're going to delight a customer. We're going to make hospitality exactly what it should be, more human, by just being better partners. And I think that's such a cool thing. I think this year you've seen the partners just explode. Like so many more partnerships are happening this year that I think you've been doing this for a lot longer than I have, Trev. But like the partners have been so much bigger and so much more happening in that channel.
Well, I can say this, like probably in 2018 even, when we did a show like this, I think we were probably the only sales and catering solution, because everyone was at that time like, what are you talking about? Everything's just all in one. And it's so crazy to now see, like I'm here and I can see a lot of people that are in our space that are like integration partners. Like we have Meeting Package right next door to us here, and they're like an integration partner, and they're doing their part, and we work together. And like to see this space grow is really really cool. Like because I think sales and catering has kind of always been a bit neglected, so it's nice to see that it's getting the love it deserves.
I love to hear that. And yeah, I think kind of hit the nail on the head with the partners. Everyone used to want all in one, but all in one it's tricky to do and not at all possible to pull off when you think of all the areas of hospitality that are out there. So I do love that it's getting the love it deserves, especially on the sales and catering side and the events and things like that. When we think about an event like this, obviously you're meeting with partners, doing the face-to-face, but there's always some fun parties and things like that, right? So how do you balance being on the show floor all day, but then having all those other things on top, all the extra conversations, all the extra events? How do you balance that and stay sane through the event season?
It's not easy. Get your sleep. I think it comes down to prioritization. So meeting in advance, knowing who you're going to speak with, looking at the different events that are running. You want to go to all of them, but you have to narrow them down and just make sure that you're getting an impact where you're going. And drink lots of water.
Absolutely, get some food too.
I was saying, I think the most important for me is the food part. Like, so easy to just forget to eat.
Yeah.
I mean, I live in New York and I forget to eat all the time for lunch, and I'm like, oh shit, it's 3:00 and I haven't eaten a damn thing yet. So I feel that at such a core level. I've been doing events for a long time in my previous life, and I remember the first event I went to when I was, didn't know much, was still very green. I wore like a really nice pair of shoes because I was like wanting to look good, right? I was all dressed up. Halfway through the event, I had to sit down. I couldn't walk for the next 3 days. I think if you're going to be on a show floor for multiple days, wear good shoes as well.
I'll shout out
Like Trevor's.
with these ones. They're the comfiest shoes I've ever worn.
Really? You got some Lululemons on the feet?
Yeah, you know.
Hey,
it.
I love it.
I'll shout out the local. Yeah.
So, when you think about next year, so we got stuff cooking in the lab, right? We're halfway through 2024. What are some of the things you think are going to happen next year in the hospitality space? What are some of the trends or things people should be paying attention to as we head into next year? Maybe some things that that you're cooking up that you can't wait to be seen and more visible in the space.
I think it's just along the lines of what we've been talking about through this podcast. I think the integration parts are going to continue to accelerate. I think over 3 times today, we had different partners come up to us. It dramatically changed over the last couple of years. And like Trevor mentioned as well, we want to work with the right partners who want to deliver that customer experience. And we want to be known to have the deepest and narrowest integrations in the marketplace for whoever we partner with. And that will never change next year or the year after. That's really one of our core values. And then it's just keeping up with the market conditions. You see that things are changing constantly. So 6 months from now, we could be talking about something completely different. So staying abreast of the market conditions, but staying true to your core pillars in the business, that's what we'll be continuing to do. And then, dropping some new things out sooner than later.
Well, I can also say this, like for how we see it, it's always about making it easier. And that's so hokey, right? And even one guy said, he's like, oh yeah, easy to use. Everybody says that. But we kind of approach it differently because we know easy to use is about understanding what the problems are, the hotelier faces, and asking them constantly and learning and growing and really trying to make it easier. Well, why is it like that? And so at Event Temple, we're always focused on that, simplifying, making it much, much easier to do the job, to have to do less to do the job. And that's why partners are key for that too, right? Because nobody wants to go and enter their group in their sales and catering and then go and enter it in their PMS. It's not funny. No. I mean, nobody wants to do that. So those kind of things are about ease of use and making it there. And at Event Temple, we're just trying to find new ways to simplify the process. So lots of things are coming around now.
That is awesome. Well, I know that it's just you two men in the booth today, so I don't want to take up too much of your time as we close out day one of the show. Is there any big talks or things you're looking forward to or you're going to be going to this week, or mostly just working the room while we're here?
I'm working the room. Trevor?
Yeah, we're working the room. E20X is always cool too, seeing some out there, new faces. We have some great friends who are helping judge it as well too. There's always the fun events after the show as well too. I think Cloudbeds looks like they're having a pretty good one.
Battle of the Bands.
I was going to say that was going to be kind of fun. Yeah. Looking forward to that one. They put on a great party after at ITB Berlin. Okay. They had a great party as well. So looking forward to that one for sure.
Absolutely.
Well, I appreciate you guys for coming on. For those out there listening, if they want to get in touch with y'all, how do they get in touch with Event Temple and how they get in touch with you personally? What's the best way to reach y'all?
Trevor, talk to us about the marketing.
EventTemple.com. Always check it out. You can try it free. You can book a demo. We're here to help. If you ever wanted to reach me, you can reach me at Trevor.McLean at EventTemple.com. I think if you just type in partnerships at EventTemple.com, it'll forward to me too. So I'll try that one out. Let's see.
He's reachable.
I'm reachable. Connect with me on LinkedIn. I love to chat.
Same channels, LinkedIn or email dan.woods@eventtemple.com. If you're interested in trialing the software, we offer trials as well. You can get a demo with our sales team. We'll be responsive. And that's it.
Love that. Well, I'll make sure to put the website, both y'all LinkedIn's and both y'all emails in the show notes. All you got to do is click those show notes and you'll be able to reach them really quick. Appreciate you fellas for jumping on with me today. It's been a blast. Enjoy the rest of HITEC. As out there listening, as always, be a tier 1, like, subscribe. If you know, especially on the podcast, you want to be on the podcast, let us know. And until next time, stay well.